future of Kashmir is in peril if you do not fix the education.
The Philippines, it states that there should be 206 hours in a year of classroom instruction. I'm known as Teacher Satria, and I'm from the Philippines. And I'm here in Kashmir. I've established a school because teaching for me and education is a passion, and it's also a need everywhere in the world, as much as it is in Kashmir.
Pronoun. Planet is the pronoun. Building is the pronoun. Boy is the pronoun. Girl is the pronoun. Book is the pronoun. Car is the pronoun.
There is definitely a need to improve the quality of education, especially in the primary years, because this is where you build a foundation of learning among kids. And it's very important that they get their fundamentals right in order to move on to more complex skills. So that's why if you don't have, for example, a good foundation in English, for example, and English affects many other subjects because it's the way you learn science, because the science books are in English. So how will you understand, for example, the texts in science? But how have students been going on for these years? How have they been studying for all these years? What they do is basically the answers are given by the teachers, the questions are in their books, and they are limited to the memorization process, which is not the only process that should be part of learning inside the classrooms, especially in the primary years. So if for example, questions are reworded, many of the students will not be able to answer because they basically just, it's like they've just taken a photo, they don't really know how to compartmentalize these words and these concepts. If you reword them, they'll have trouble answering the questions because they didn't memorize the question and the answers verbatim in that way. The facilities we have a basketball court, we have sports facility, we have a football field, we will have a tennis court, and this pool, swimming pool is upcoming because sports education, sports training, it's fundamental to schooling. And that's something that needs to be encouraged at home, not just by the government, but also by families. Families have to be involved and say, yes, we want these things for our kids, and we do have them, we offer them.
What is this?
I think there are many good teachers, but they did not get the opportunity to be trained well or sharpened enough, in these institutions. There are many education degrees being given out without much challenge to the teachers. In other countries, you will have a very, very tough coursework for if you want to be a teacher. But it's not the same way in Kashmir. So I think there are good teachers, but they are not trained well. Kashmiris are very good at performing at tests because this is the system. It's an examination-based system. The current educational system is always that you are always required to take a test. You know, even 4-year-old children, 3-year-old children are being given tests. So they will do well in that. But we also have an essay part. So we really want to know whether these teachers know about the educational system and have opinions about them, and how will they structure their thoughts in that essay. And especially important is the teaching demonstration. Or you put them in a class and see how they interact with children. It's very important. And then after that, we never stop training teachers after we recruit them. I and the managing director, we both believe that we need to give teachers pay. We need to give a very attractive pay to teachers. Not just attractive, but I think it should be just. Many parents still want their children to become doctors or engineers. Why? Because of the pay. Correct? So that means they don't believe that teachers should also get a higher pay or a just pay. The teaching approach mainly, ours is rooted in child-centered principles. When you say child-centered principle, that means the child is important, not just the lessons, not just the teacher. So when you have that kind of mentality in the school, even the classroom setup changes. Because if it's a child-centered approach, that means the needs of the child are important. That means that you're not going to put 60 children or 50 children cramped up in one class. Some children will lag behind, some children will be advanced. What do you do about this? Are you just going to go to the next chapter? If it's teacher-centered, yes, because the teacher's goal is to finish the syllabus. So she'll just want to finish the syllabus. But here, no, that's not the approach. The advanced children, they can revise the lessons, or you can give them challenging tasks about the lesson, because here we have other materials. It's not just a book. Okay, let's say you've learned the lessons in your book. Can you sort these cards? Can you complete this puzzle? Will you be able to describe this book? So we have certain materials that will suit the child's intellectual needs, learning level. And those who are a little bit behind, teachers give them time. We have certain things, for example, different things from the lower kindergarten up to the grade 3 level, right? In lower kindergarten, we have what we call show and tell. So, for example, it's part of their lesson, the list of words that they have to learn, and we say, okay, let's bring from home something that starts with this sound. Okay, when you're teaching phonics, digraphs, for example, the ch sound in English or the th sound in English. So they bring, and then they have time to present it to the class. So they become more encouraged. Yes, they can speak in front of the class. That's one way of encouraging them. We also hold many shows within the school. We hold quiz bees, we hold speech contests. We have the rainbow curriculum. We want to bring out the talent in each child, and that talent can only be honed and can only be discovered if you present or if you give them opportunities, different opportunities. So it's not just the test. It's not just the examination that's important. The ones with the verbal, mathematical, logical skills will do well. How about those with artistic skills? How will they feel good about their skills, about their talent? How will they develop self-esteem? Right? And how will we make a society out of if we do not explore talent in the school? It's very important. One, we make sure there are makeup classes as much as possible. It's very taxing for children sometimes because children need routine. Routine means you expect something to happen and it will happen, just like a school day. Just like, okay, every Saturday will be a fun day. Every Monday, we go to school. Tuesday, we give this homework in this subject. All of us depend on routine. When that gets disturbed by illness or by any other event, even adults take time to readjust. So the school goes on. Yes, schooling goes on. Lessons go on in makeup classes or in other ways. But it's quite difficult for the children. It's quite difficult for the children. They don't perform as well as they would without the disturbance.